they wouldn't do that. They'd burn the dollar store down the road from it. That'll teach her.
Damned car dealerships with their smug Toyotas.
I think it was Ferguson where they burned what's a female barber shop? Was a hairstylist?
Hair salon. Hair salon.
But it was a hair salon that specialized in black people's hair. It feels racist to even admit that, but like it
does it?
Different clientele and skill sets. I don't know.
Yeah.
I said black. I must be racist. So, but everyone was like, "Why did you burn down this place? Like my nana gets her hair done here." You know, they were mad at like cops and white people, so they burned down a black hair salon.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's like I told you, a friend of mine, like in 2014, worked in Ferguson as all that shit was happening, and like I texted him and was like, "Yeah, what's it like?" And he's like, "Dude, you've driven through Ferguson. This place is a shithole, and the only place I could go to get lunch was a McDonald's across the street." And they burned the fucking McDonald's down, man. There's nothing to eat. And he was mad about it. He's like, "It was the one thing here that I could go over and get some nuggets on a bad day."
Was golden arches.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And now they're just smoldering. The smoldering arches. There's no. He was so mad about that McDonald's being burned down. Which, understandable. That's your one little bright spot looking over there, and then now it's ashes.
Maybe they put a chick.
You're already working in Ferguson. It's not a fun area.
But to be like your cities are so dangerous, and I do recognize St. Louis in particular leads the league in homicides, and not just by a little. Like there's no one nipping at their heels. They're
MVPs.
It's a dynasty.
Yeah, it is a dynasty.
But I don't know. I've never been to a city I didn't feel pretty safe in.
It is
New York.
Like I've hung out. Like you walk around like Denver, Seattle, like. The vibe of homeless people is so wildly different than St. Louis homeless. Like it is like it's fun. Like when I think I have a different perspective on some homeless people, because people will be like, you know, like a lot of them are just guys down on their luck and need this help and this and that. Like not in fucking St. Louis. Like the homeless people you run into here are terrifying for the most part. Like they are talking to themselves. They are making erratic movements. There are big groups of them sometimes. Like it is the kind of thing where like if I was walking somewhere and I saw a big group of homeless people, like if I was in Seattle, I'd probably just keep going. But like in St. Louis, it's like, no, like I just saw an article of some retard like me thinking he could walk past this, like a group like this, and he got stabbed in the head. And because there's 15 other murders happening, no one comes, you just kind of die. So
when I was in LA,
there's no reward because there's nothing fun to do in St. Louis City other than Blues games and Cardinals games. There's nothing there. It is a paintball course of bullshit, that whole city, other than Blues games and Cardinals games. Like, and so if there was a big to do where it's like, oh, maybe we'll brave the shitty part of the city for this fun event. No, decades ago, St. Louis shifted everything but the professional sports stadiums out to the county because it's a shithole. It's awful. Like, our St. Louis isn't even managed by the same group of people who manage St. Louis County. St. Louis City and St. Louis County are totally different governments. And one is run very well and is kept clean and is kept nice. And the other is ran like a fucking third world country.
How would you fix St. Louis? Just aggressive policing?
It would have to be really aggressive. Like you'd have to make it so that people felt safe investing. I mean, that's just kind of the baseline is like, you need to make it so that people feel like, hey, I'm going to make money on this restaurant I'm going to put here next to the Enterprise Center, instead of like, well, Wheelhouse is, that bar down there, like just in the past 5 years, it's gotten so dangerous where they are. The traffic's gone down. Like it, I don't think
homeless for more than 7 days, death penalty. What do you think?
I think it's a start. Yeah, I think it's I think homeless for 1 day, they nab you up and they take you to some center where they can like make sure you're
just on your way to work.
You're just on your way.
You're not in a home. I got you.
No, I'm on the way to work. And you know what? Then you know what problem that causes is we have an epidemic of homeless people behaving like to try and not be uncovered. Oh no. But realistically, like I think that would help, because then you could suss out the people who are like, this person has a drug issue, but other than that is like neurologically all there and everything, versus someone who's like this is a damn shame, but this person is broken. Like you can't let this person hang out. This person can't walk around in school zones on their own. You know, like
when I was in LA, the homeless people that I interacted with were crazy, talking to themselves, not making sense. They might have been on drugs, and I mixed that up with crazy, but they seemed crazy to me. In North Carolina, they're chill. They look like they belong at a Grateful Dead concert. They have tents.
Yeah, that's what the Seattle homeless were like. Seattle homeless were like smugly homeless.
Yeah, there's it runs the gamut, I guess. You get a little bit of everything, but some of them are definitely scary. The people who are doing van life stuff, the people who are like grinding out this cool kind of existence in gym locker rooms and campsites and stuff, I can respect that. I bet that's a cool lifestyle and an experience to get. But then there's all those homeless people who are crazed and violent, and they're there because I've said this before, and it's not always true, but for someone to end up homeless, they either have to be mentally ill and not responsible for themselves anymore, or to be such a piece of shit that no one will back them anymore. They don't have an auntie to go stay with because they stole from her. Granny too. Brother-in-law too. Best friend, second best friend, third best friend, and his cousin. Stayed with him, tried to live on a couch. Same thing happened. TV's gone again. They've run out of, would you please pick me ups? They're not answering anymore. He doesn't have the number anymore. And now he's just a piece of shit on the street. I think that happens a lot too.
Yeah. I mean, our homeless have like evolved here in the UK.
You're a perfect...
Where like when I first went to America, was the first time I saw like, you guys probably know this all the time, where you go to like a red light and there's some guy with like a sign and he comes up to you. He's like, or like they try the wiping your window and then trying to get like whatever. Ugh. We never used to have that in the UK, but the last like 3 years, I would say, they've started figuring it out. They've been like, okay, yeah, sweet. We can make a sign. We can go up to people at their window. We can do like the little wipe thing. They're really evolving now. So it's kind of, it's weird to see that here.
Drew, I was going to say that you're a good example of when someone's in a tight spot, but they're a decent person who's not a piece of shit. How many people you mentioned? He's like, and then this guy let me stay at his place, and then this guy and that guy, and at no point of the way were you robbing these people or doing anything awful to them. You were treating their places respectfully, I'm sure, and being a good human being, and so you didn't run out of those places to stay. If everybody had said, you'd have been on the street in New York at some point, or hiding in a hotel lobby or something.
Yeah, literally, yeah. And it's just
but you're a decent dude.
Like, being able to present yourself well as well, and like, I mean, there is the small percentage of homeless people that like, they literally didn't have anything growing up and they don't have any family and all of that shit. But like, I think you're right. I think it's few and far between, and most people just kind of like get themselves in that situation. As bad as it sounds, like, and it's we need to help some people, but like for the most part, some people are just pieces of shit.
Yeah.
If you were caught by a cop in America for drugs, would you try to bribe him?
No,
don't do that.
I did get caught in America for drugs one time.
Of course.
But it was like it was really nice. Like I just happened to have some little actually, you know what? On the I won't say what it is on the podcast, right? But I had this little thing, and I definitely shouldn't have had it. But I had some bud, and this police officer like came by, searched the van that I was staying in with my homie, and he was searching through everything. I just thought I had the weed, but I forgot my mate had like given me this thing, and I just told him about it. I was like, "Oh shit, my mate gave me this one thing. It's there." And the guy was like, "Seeing as you're being honest with me, I don't really care. I'll just throw it away," and that was it. So,
that's could have gone worse.
Yeah, well, definitely could have gone worse.